What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about the top 5 most heavily shorted EV stocks in the market as of right now. So I'm going to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, just wanted to explain, I'm only going to be looking at stocks that have a market cap of 100 mil or greater. Anything below that, you get in a little bit more of a sticky scenario with dilution, and whenever a company starts to dilute kind of extensively, it really does affect a lot of these kind of numbers, such as short interest. So again, I'm only going to be going over stocks that have a 100 mil market cap or greater. Getting right to it, stock number 5, Polestar, sitting at 52 cents. So crazy stuff. So it ultimately just hit a new 52-week low, so not necessarily the best. Over the last 1 year, down 56.69%. Then over the last 1 month alone, down 39.41. Aside from that, 9.61% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 37.1 million shares overall being shorted. Even on Friday, shorts did increase 1.45 million shares. Couple good data points up top here to pay attention to. DTC, so that does signal how kind of overextended shorts are. So that's sitting at 7.34 days. So that does factor in the average volume for Polestar in comparison to number of shares being shorted. Short score, higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening, is sitting at 78.83. And then through IBKR, it does indicate about 1.2 million shares overall are being shorted. So this stock definitely is struggling, but we all know it doesn't take much for things to turn around. So especially how overextended shorts are, add this one to your watch list. On a side note, if you actually do own any of these stocks, give yourself a shout out in the comments below. Moving on to the next one, we have good old NIO sitting at 616. And so over the last 1 year, still doing fairly well. It is up 39.05%. Over the last 1 month, consolidating a little bit, down 11.44%. They do have their earnings, on a side note, coming right around the corner. And so that is slated for November the 25th. But 11.41% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 157 million shares overall are being shorted. On Friday, shorts did increase 2.32 million shares, DTC 1.97 days, so not to the same magnitude as Polestar, but still does signal that shorts are relatively overextended. Shorts, I feel like over the last month and a half, they haven't really done any significant moves, so most likely they're going to be waiting for their upcoming earnings just to kind of either double down or do something. But one thing I do want to draw to your attention though is that there is currently, as I mentioned, 157 million shares overall are being shorted, and right now shares on loan there is about 79.84 million. So ultimately the math just doesn't jive. So there is a lot more shares being shorted than on loan, so there's a little bit more of a naked type of short scenario playing out. So interesting kind of stuff. Aside from that, there's about more than 10 million shares available to be shorted. So again, something to keep in mind. And the reason why I bring that up is sometimes in cases when there is limited stock, you might see some buying from big institutions just to kind of lend out on a just side note. But one thing as well, cost to borrow in NIO's case is 0.66%. Cost to borrow minimum is negative 0.22%. So that does mean that there is a broker or brokers that's paying people to short NIO. So you do have a couple sketchy things going on with NIO. So again, something just to somewhat be aware. Not like retail can really change the outlook of that. But aside from that, moving on to stock number 3, you have good old Rivian sitting at 1511. Just on Friday went down 7.81%. Over the last 1 year, still doing fairly well. It is up 46.56%. Over the last 1 month, still doing good, up 18.01%. Right now, 17.82% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 143 million shares overall being shorted. On Friday, shorts did increase about 20,000 shares, nothing too significant. Cost to borrow average is 0.77, short score 65.04, and DTC, it's still overextended, so 2.89 days. Interestingly enough though, shorts like leading into today, they did return a lot. So it went from about 21% short interest to where it is now, and that was in a span of about, looks like 2 weeks. So shorts have been really returning. Clearly Maybe they were worried a little bit about their earnings, and again, their earnings was pretty solid all around, so definitely something to keep in mind. So aside from that though, through IBKR does indicate about 5.8 million shares is available. So Rivian is stock number 3. Moving on to stock number 2, you have good old Faraday Future, did close at 101, and so on Friday went down 4.72%. Over the last 1 year, it is down 24.64%, and then over the last 1 month, down 28.62%. So not doing that great. On Friday, shorts did increase 1.04 million shares. 24.96% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 35.06 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow average 14.75. DTC has been really going up a lot, so that's sitting at 3.45 days. So again, I think the common scenario so far among all the stocks is shorts are very overextended. So I think they're getting rather bold in regards to the whole EV sector. But short score 77.42. Shorts over the last month and a half haven't really done too much, but maybe if things do continue the way they are, maybe shorts might get back to where they were, which ultimately beginning of 2025, short interest was 55.67%. Through IBKR does indicate about 15,000 shares is available. So that is it. Most likely you'll be seeing some buying early on next week as institutions will buy Faraday just to lend out. So again, you might have that kind of happening behind the scenes. So Faraday is stock number 2, and then as per usual, stock number 1, you have good old Lucid. So sitting at 14.20 on Friday, did go down 6.39%, so hitting a new all-time and 52-week low. And so that was at 14.19. Over the last 1 year, down 31.73%, and then over the last 1 month, down 32.48%. 28.63% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 41.2 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow average 17.8. Shorts, interestingly enough, have actually returned a little bit leading into today. DTC sitting at 4.14 days, short score 80.24. One thing I do want to draw to your attention though is so far, all the stocks I did bring up, shorts increased on Friday. In Lucid's case, you actually did have shorts return 999,000 shares. So definitely something interesting is happening as far as that. Through IBKR, it does indicate about 450,000 shares is available to be shorted. So potentially early on next week, you might be seeing some buying as institutions will buy it and just lend out. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Is there any other stocks in the EV sector that you feel is a squeeze play or that you've been buying? I think one thing that I found fairly interesting is Lucid right now is ranked number 12 based on market cap. Rivian is number 6. So a lot of the American EVs, aside from Tesla, are definitely fading into oblivion from what it looks like. So it looks like it's going to be Tesla against a bunch of Chinese EVs. So let me know your general thoughts on these stocks. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. One final thing, pop over to my stacked account. I just made this roughly around 1 week ago, and over and above my Patreon. So if you are looking for some solid swing trades, pop over here. I put it at $10 a month. So this is more of a promo rate. So get in now before I kind of increase it, but I do put out multiple swing trades every single week and they have been on point. So despite all the fear that has happened last week, especially Thursday and Friday, swing trades have been on point. So definitely pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.